All right. What is up, you guys? This is Mike Felix, and I'm not going to spend too much time on here, but I want to speak about the some of the differences between increasing your revenue and increasing your reach, and why it's easier to increase your revenue than it would be your reach. So let me just make sure everything is good here. I'm gonna increase my volume a little bit because I think it might be a little low. So this, just to start out, this group is called Reach and Revenue Builders. I'm looking to share as many resources and tools and tips as possible to be able to help you all who own businesses, or even if you don't own businesses, if you're just in a role where you have to do something to increase how many people are seeing your offerings, and then you're coupling that with your ability to generate revenue. All right, so Reach and Revenue Builders. So I get the question a lot, like, Mike, like, oh my gosh, in order to increase my revenue, I need to increase my reach and my following and my social presence and stuff like that. And whenever I disagree, I normally have some follow-up questions. I want to talk about that for a moment. So one of the first things that I do want to address on this live is that there isn't always a positive correlation between your social following and your revenue. Okay, there's not a huge correlation between your social following and revenue. There are plenty of multi-million-dollar businesses out there that have 1,000 followers on Instagram or have 100 followers on Facebook. There are plenty of businesses or entrepreneurs who have 1 million followers and they're hardly generating a couple $1,000s a month. All right, there's not a positive correlation here. I actually believe that just due to the nature of social media, I think it's more difficult for some entrepreneurs to generate revenue than others. So, like an example, I recorded a video. This was like last week. I recorded a video, and I spoke about how like attractive women, I believe, have a harder time monetizing their social following than most people. There are plenty of very attractive women who have 50, 60, 70,000 followers on Instagram, but they're not generating any revenue. And the reason why they have so many followers is because social media is a very visual platform. So what do people like to do on visual platforms? They like to see stuff, right? So let's say you're a woman and you're posting things just to get attention. If you sell beauty products, you have 50,000 followers and 49,000 of them are dudes that will never buy your stuff, it makes it difficult to generate revenue. Okay, so going back to the point here, it is easier to generate revenue than it is to generate reach. So first things first, on social media, there's two different ways to generate reach. First is you organically getting out there. That is you leveraging who you're already connected to, and you're putting out content and you're engaging in a way that will get people to either reshare or direct people to your platform, or you'll leverage the algorithm, the mighty algorithm that's going to be the judge and jury of whether or not they give you any type of virtual real estate. Facebook and Instagram, they know exactly how much people are scrolling on average throughout the day, and they are literally picking and choosing what to put into people's feed, because the reality here too is on social media, it costs a lot to get your attention. It costs even more to keep it. So social platforms, when you look at their algorithm, what they're looking to do, they're trying to figure out, what do I need to present to this person person A? What do I need to present to person A in order to keep them on this platform longer? That is what these algorithms are not looking at you and saying, oh, well, George is, or Mike is really special, and I really think that people will enjoy seeing this one particular video from Mike. So I'm gonna send it to everybody. That's not how it works, all right? So that's organic. The other way to be able to gain reach on social platforms is to pay for it. That is you paying to sponsor posts and to have paid advertising into people's feed. But that costs money. Nothing wrong with it. It is an absolute necessary part of business. But it also doesn't always positively correlate to your ability to generate revenue. If you really think about it, those two mediums have a huge dependency on a platform giving you the reach you desire. Now, when it comes to your revenue, there's a portion of your revenue that I believe gives you a lot of control, which is why I'm saying that it's easier to generate revenue than it is to just generate reach. So let's talk about revenue for a moment, okay? Everybody that owns a business, you're in business because you have identified, or hopefully you have identified, that there is a market of people who find your offerings to be valuable. And if you don't know if your offerings are valuable, now is the perfect time to validate how people perceive your offerings. A lot of times, many of you have offerings out there that are based off of solving a problem. Identify how many people have this problem on average. Identify how severe the problem is. How severe is the problem? And the aim to generating revenue is to find those individuals who are experiencing that problem, sharing that you have a solution, and then creating an exchange. That enables you to generate revenue, okay? I believe it is extremely easy to generate revenue, especially if you're in a field like coaching, consulting, like if you're a creative. I mean, there are people out here that are dying to get their problem solved. If you're a coach or consultant, like let's say you're in the business space, there are tons of people that need to solve their challenges when it comes to increasing or improving their business processes, optimizing their ability to generate additional business. They may be solving a financial problem, an accounting problem. They might want to rebrand their business. They want to build a website. They want to run they want to do stuff. There are so many people that they need your services. They just need you to come and ask them to solve their problem. Man, this sounds too bad. This sounds fire. Too bad I'm on the road. Definitely gonna run it back. Yeah, dope. Yeah, I mean, I don't delete my lives, so you can definitely run it back. So when I speak about revenue being an exchange, I always say this, and this is, I believe, the fundamental tactful skill that if anyone learns it, you can sell anything, okay? If you know that there is a market out there, if there's a marketplace out there of people who have a problem to be solved, and you're able to identify what the severity of their perception of that problem is, if you want to tie that to revenue, you have to understand how they fiscally view that problem. How do they fiscally view that problem? So let's say somebody has, let's say right now, right? Like let's talk marketing, right? Because sometimes there's direct opportunity costs and then there's indirect opportunity costs. So let's just take marketing, right? You have a company that sells AirPods, right? These AirPods sell for, I think this one was like $250, right? I'll just say $200 for the sake of numbers. $200 because this is something that you need, right? The company that makes this, let's just call it Company A. Company A is not marketing or advertising. but they have the ability and they have the production amount. They have the ability to sell 10 of these a day. Okay? Now, again, there's a couple different ways to frame opportunity cost because you need to know how severe their problem is. They're not marketing. They could sell 10 of these a day at $200 a pop. 200 times 10 is $2,000. 2,000 times 7 for the week is $14,000. Times 4 for the month is that 60? Is that 68,000? $68,000, is it? 68,000, yes. So $68,000 a month by selling this 10 times per day, right? So for every, and again, think about this, right? For every month that they don't advertise or that they don't market, that is a $68,000 problem in revenue, right? So that's a relatively big problem. Now, would someone that has the ability to generate $68,000 turn down a $2,000 proposal to help them solve a $68,000 problem? Would they turn down a $5,000 proposal to solve a $68,000 problem? There's gonna be a point where they're gonna say, man, like, should I just solve it or should I get that solution from you? If you're able to at least identify the severity of a problem, you speak to that so that you're leading people to you as a solution. If you do that well, it is extremely easy, again, to generate revenue, and it's in your control. Your reach is not always in your control. Your reach is not always in your control. This group is all about reach and revenue, but I want to say this, your reach is not always in your control. I think there's just shy of 1,000 people inside of this group. The reach in this group, that this group is going to be recommended by Facebook, not based off of me. It's going to be based off of that algorithm. My ability to generate revenue is in my control. And I also want to put this in another perspective. Far too many entrepreneurs who have small businesses, they sit here and they believe that these large corporations are making most of their revenue off of just their advertising. The reality is, many of these companies, they have people just like you and I actively going out and selling. Okay? Actively going out and selling. They are saying, hey, there's a ton of people who don't even know they have the problem that I solve. I'm going to go out and identify the problem for them, and I'm going to communicate to them that there's a solution to the problem that I just made them privy to. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna admit something. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite when it comes to technology. I am stamped as a hypocrite right now, primarily because for years I have been anti-iPhone. I have been, oh my gosh, iPhone is the worst. iPhone is this, iPhone is that, iPhone is this, iPhone is that. I've been like that for a very long time. Even when I had an iPhone before, I hated the iPhone. But you want to know what's funny? I was presented with a problem that I didn't even know I had. The problem that I had was I was just carrying around way too much equipment. I have a MacBook, AirPods, I have a ton of other stuff, but I was carrying around a DSLR camera along with 3 different cords that came out of it to be able to power it, send the image signal, and send the audio. And I was doing that because I thought that, I was like, man, you know what, like this is a lot. But it was only until I was presented with a solution that drove me to spend $1,300 on the latest iPhone. And now I'm using the back camera of the iPhone as my webcam. This company made $1,300 just because I was presented with a solution. Oh, I'm sorry. I was presented a problem that I didn't even know I had. Now, did it stop there? No. I spent $1,300. And then my girl got me an Apple Watch. So this was like $500 something. So this company made $1,800 within the span of a week off of one person, just from being able to present that there was. Did I do it because I saw an Apple ad? No. Did I do it because I saw the website? No. Did I do it because of their brand? No. I did it because I was presented with a problem that I wasn't fully aware that I had, and something addressed it. So many of you have companies that you now, all right, so let me stop and let me explain this as well. Sometimes you know whether or not you're doing enough to identify people who are experiencing the problems that you solve. I know plenty of business owners that they don't talk to nobody, they don't reach out to nobody, they don't post nothing, they don't create no content, they don't ask people what their thoughts are, they don't get no feedback, they don't ask for no referral, they don't do none of that. But in their head, they think that they're special enough for everybody who's experiencing a problem to think of them as being top of mind and say, hey, can I come give you $1,000? Can I give you $500? Can I buy your services for $2,000? Like with me, right? Being a consultant, coach, creative. If I wanted to generate $15,000 this week, what I do, I sit down, and of course I have a CRM system. I sit down and I say, all right, first of all, what are my offerings? So I coach, I have courses, and I also have various services that vary in revenue and pipeline between $400 all the way up to $7,000, right? So $400 to $7,000. So I'll say, okay, well, in between that, which one do I have the capacity to do? So then I say, well, you know what? I could take on a couple projects where I'm helping them with their sales pipeline. I can take on a couple. That's an accident. These people are just. It's ridiculous. I can take on clients who need support with building their sales and marketing pipeline. I can take on clients who need support with developing their sales narrative. I could sell a couple courses. So now in my head, I'm like, all right, well, let's just say on average, every customer is worth about $1,000. I would need to find 15 customers in order to make 15 grand, right? Now, in my head, I have to believe that 15 people possess a problem that I solve. If I don't believe that, then I don't do anything. But if I believe that, then it's really just a matter of positioning myself in a space, in an environment where those people are, and being able to actively reach out to them to address a problem that I'm going to presume they have. If I want to bring in 15 grand, just due to the law of numbers, I need to be able to find at least $150,000 worth of opportunities. And I'm telling you now, whenever you 10x the amount that you want to generate, it makes the magnitude of your ability to generate revenue seem much easier. I get excited over the no's because I know that you got to dig through the dirt to get the gold. But if you don't like no's, if you don't like people to say, hey, not now, why today? I can't afford it. Not. If you don't like that, it's going to be very difficult for you to hit your absolutes in revenue, which you have control over. That's my whole point here. I know I'm like 15, 20 minutes in. My point here in this entire live is this. Your reach, you have less control over than your revenue. But with your revenue, I believe because you have control, it makes it easier to generate. So and you know what? Here's another point to the revenue. If you wanted to generate revenue with the intent to recycle that revenue back in to increase your reach, you have that option. When you take your reach and attempt to recycle that back into your revenue, you have to sell anyways. So why not start with sales? Why not start with sales? So, and you know what? I want to ask anyone that's on here, I want to ask, why not start with sales? Is there anything, because I'm sure anybody that's tuned in, anybody that tuned in for more than a couple minutes here, you have an interest in knowing why I'm saying revenue is easier to generate than reach. Because I think most people would say the opposite. But what would you say are some things that would impede you from being able to generate revenue online? Like what are your thoughts? I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts around things that impede you from generating revenue? Because I think many of us have slightly different perspectives on that. Slightly different perspectives on that. What impedes you? Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm on email. And by the way, I want to say this too. If you're typing in the comments, I want to say this too. Email is how you make money. Please, 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 don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't think otherwise. Don't think otherwise. Facebook is not your party. Facebook is not your party. Facebook is someone else's party. Your email list and your email database and your CRM is your party. You go to someone else's party and you do your dance, and you get these people at their party to say, man, he can dance, she can dance. I want to go check out their party, and let them come to your party. You have control over what's played at your party. You know what the entrance fee is to your party. You know what food is served at your party. You know what drinks are served at your party. You know what is served at your party. You need to go to your social party. Social media is someone else's party, and you get people over to your party. That is where the money's made. Money's not made at other people's party. I think far too many people think that, like, you get on Facebook, you get on LinkedIn, you get on Instagram, you get on Twitter or whatever, you start posting and all this stuff, and then like you just start making money. If you really think about it, if you really look at this, the majority of people who are generating a good sum of money online, the first thing they do on these social platforms is get your email address. That's the first, even ads. When you click on an ad, the majority of the time, 99% of the time, other than the bad marketers, the first thing that they get you to do is give you their email address. Hint. And by getting email addresses, that also solved a problem that I brought up earlier, which is reach. When it comes to your reach, you don't have a lot of control over your reach on these social platforms, but you do have more control over your reach if you have people's direct contact information and their email address. Get people over to your party. Get people over to your party. Get people over to your party. Like an example, like I'm talking here. What I'm gonna do, and I mean, if you're on my email list, then you're gonna get this. If you're not on my email list, shoot me a quick message. But I'm gonna take this video. And I'm going to upload. I'm gonna jot down my points. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, and then I'm gonna take that YouTube video and I'm gonna send it to my email list. I'm not waiting on Facebook to show anybody my stuff. And you know what's funny? With this topic, I'm going to jot this topic down inside of my Notion app, and I'm going to categorize it as discussion around reach and revenue. And then anytime I see a conversation about people talking about their following and they're talking about their revenue and all this stuff, I'm going to reference this video. I could even take this video and put this on a landing page with a call to action to get people to book a free consult. I mean, there's so much you can do. There's so much you can do. If you have any questions about this, hit me up. I do gotta hop off here, but I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you have any questions about this, hit me up. Peace.